Today, Nebraska Governor Jim Pillen signed the Grow the Good Life Act into law. Supporters hope it brings more high-paying jobs from Union Pacific and other large employers to the state. Here's how it works. Starting in 2031, the state will give large companies tax breaks up to $4 million per year based on the number of full-time Nebraska employees. Senator Brad Von Gillern of Elkhorn introduced the legislation at the governor's request. He says the tax credits only apply if the companies hold up their end of the bargain.
It's about creating opportunities for all Nebraskans to succeed. It's about creating jobs here, it's about keeping jobs here, and it's about attracting hopefully thousands of jobs and people from across the world to come here and experience the good life.
At the same ceremony, Governor also signed an omnibus bill which tasked the Department of Labor with tracking and growing apprenticeship opportunities.